Hey guys, another day, another live video. I wanted to come on because I just finished my workshop with um with my Hormone Society group, and we talked about stress and blood sugar and hormones and just practical stuff regarding stress supplements and like why they would work and why they wouldn't work. And I want to layer this conversation and talk about if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I don't like Happy Juice. I think it's a waste of money. I don't think it works. And I think we could better, we could choose things that are better for our health in terms of efficacy. And we could actually choose things that have good research behind them. I could go on and on. Today, I actually want to talk about a different product. I'm not talking about Happy Juice because it's come across my desk, so to speak. Specifically, this product is called Trim Fit, and the brand is YU. Never heard of it in my life. Doesn't mean it's not a good product, but like let's dive into it. So the reason why this irks me is because I feel like people who are trying to lose weight are a vulnerable population. And I think a lot of supplements and a lot of companies prey on those people. And so anytime I see a product that is saying that weight loss is going to be a goal here, I want to go through it and talk through it with you. So if you're joining this live, hi, welcome. If you are watching this live but you can't stay, I'm going to post the replay so you'll be able to watch it later. But I'm going to share my screen in StreamYard so that you can see what I am talking about. We'll go through it. We'll go through some of the red flags that I see with respect to this product, and we'll go from there. I want to see if my live stream is actually working because I'm on Instagram. I don't see it. Let me just see here. On my phone, it's telling me that I'm not live. Maybe I am, but it's not telling me that I'm live on Instagram. If you're here, can you tell me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Because my Instagram is not loading, and the only way for me to do this is on my computer, so I don't see what's going on. Anyways, so let's talk about it. I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go from there. So this is the product. It's called Trim Fit by YU. Like I said, never heard of them before. But here are some things to watch out for, and here are some red flags when you're looking at products and you're evaluating whether it's a good choice for you. The first thing I will say is it's so important to get customized advice when we look at, and I mean customized to you and to your needs, right? When we look at weight is actually it's simple and it's complex, right? It is energy burned and energy in. But at the end of the day, there are things that can contribute to less energy burned, right? There are hormonal pieces when we look at the weight loss conversation. There are a lot of other things that kind of come into play when we look at weight. When we look at the thyroid, for example, hormonally, your thyroid is going to, if it's underactive, it's going to lower your metabolism. And if that happens, then you are going to have a lot harder time burning calories. But at the end of the day, it is calories burned, calories consumed, right? But there are other things that come into play there. People are desperate looking for supplements and quick fixes and things that will address their weight concerns. And here's where a product like TrimFit comes in. Now, I'm wondering if I can zoom because on Instagram, I know it's hard to see. So what is in this product? I want you to look at the label first and foremost. This is how I want you to become critical when it comes to really looking at supplements and if they're right for you. I want you to make sure that you're able to critically think about these things. So the first thing is, okay, so calories, who cares? 15 calories. The one thing I want you to take note of is the Purple Tea proprietary blend of 513 milligrams. Okay. So that includes purple tea, caffeine. I'm not going to even pronounce this. Caralluma, fimbriata, taurine, ascorbic acid, and L-theanine. Okay. This is their proprietary blend. I would say when you're looking at ingredients or you're looking at a product, this is your first red flag. Your first red flag is looking at a proprietary blend. And this is really because in a proprietary blend, what they can do is they can just take ingredients of any amount and just say, no, this is our proprietary blend, and this is our this is what it is. And it comes out to be, just over 500 milligrams, right? When I looked at the research, if you start to Google some of these things, you're like, okay, what, purple tea, what does it do? Caralluma fimbriata, what does it do from a weight loss perspective? A lot of this research is in rats, which I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with, because I think a lot of what we do, specifically with alternative herbs and things like that, we have to be a little bit lenient with the type of data that we're okay using, because research at the end of the day costs money. So I like to do evidence informed rather than like evidence based, if that makes sense. So if there's a study on it, amazing. But if we can take some research and then apply that clinically in a different way, that's also super helpful. However, when we're looking at a product like this, we see this proprietary blend. Now, when I went through the research, I did find a study on purple tea specifically, but the dose was not what's in here, number one. And number two, the other information I found was actually funded by a company that made the purple tea extract that was used in the study. So that inherently is biased, right? So we look at that and we think, okay, first of all, they had some skin in the game. So they contributed money, they contributed financially to something that was going to depend on that outcome, right? Obviously, they would prefer to have beneficial outcomes for their product. That just makes sense. So when you look at purple tea from a very high, level, just Googling it, you will find that it's associated with weight loss. But when you look a little bit deeper, what you'll notice is that the dosing is actually not appropriate. This proprietary blend of a total of 513 milligrams. I'm pretty sure the purple, I don't have it off the top of my head, but the purple tea I looked into, and to be honest, the reason why I don't have it off the top of my head is because the research was crap and I just didn't think it needed room in my brain. But I wanted to bring it up to you guys because I wanted to note that the dose required to have the effects seen in research is a lot more than this proprietary blend of 513 milligrams. The other thing is, they're not telling you, the only thing that they're telling you is in here. Whoops. The only thing they're telling you is the amount of caffeine per serving rather than anything of this proprietary blend. So we know there's 130 milligrams of caffeine per serving. We also know that caffeine has evidence for beneficial, actually, research for things like weight management. And so looking at, just from that perspective, caffeine, like you could literally not buy this supplement. And I'm going to get into the actual cost analysis because that's also pretty crazy. But you could just have a black coffee of about 150 milligrams of caffeine and still have these same benefits on fat and weight loss. Like, how cheap is a coffee, specifically if you make it at home? And we know that there are other benefits to coffee. So keep in mind, this has caffeine in it, which some people don't react well to caffeine, but we do know caffeine is beneficial for weight loss. So it makes sense that this product would say, yeah, no, this totally helps for weight loss. And maybe people actually see the results, but they're literally having caffeine in a really low dose of the things that may work. And we might be deceived by looking at the research or by Googling purple tea when someone tells us that this is beneficial. And yes, Laura, I totally agree. I can't stand when I start to see, specifically when influencers sell health related products online. That grinds my gears because I know, everything that goes into treating someone's weight. I also know how vulnerable this population is in terms of like the desperation that comes from, something not working in the past and really wanting to lose weight and really struggling. I see this all the time, and it's really easy to get sucked into these really quick fixes. So That's kind of first and foremost. So the first thing, I guess, in summary, there's 130 milligrams of caffeine per serving. Period. End of story. That in itself can be helpful for weight management, but you don't need to pay $100 a month in order to get that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the research on purple tea is crap, and the dosing, the proprietary blend that's here of everything, caffeine included, is not nearly enough to be therapeutic, and it is placebo at best. At best. So that's that. I had somebody I saw on, I don't remember if it was Instagram or TikTok, but they were obviously selling this supplement, and they were like, yeah, I lost 10 pounds. It's like, you didn't just do this, first of all. You did other things. A lot of the times when we see these types of we see these types of products, right? And we see these types of, I'm going to put in quotations, results. Oftentimes we're changing behaviors, right? We know that even when we look at research, when people do like a diet diary or a food frequency questionnaire, we actually see in research people tend to eat better when they know that they're tracking it, right? So similarly, you get this weight loss product, and now you're drinking more water, and now you're moving every day, and you're being mindful of what else you're putting in your body, right? And so it's not the product itself. Potentially, it could be the benefit of the caffeine, which, again, like I said, caffeine is so much cheaper than what you can get this product for. But looking at it from a bigger perspective, when we look at like just human behavior and research, we know that people are making other changes rather than just taking this product, and the weight is just falling off their body. We also have to be really mindful and really aware of the things that we see online in terms of before and after photos. This is a big scandal in the medical aesthetic community as well. Altering images. Some organizations have been caught doing this. And I see the same thing with influencers and their weight loss journey, right? I love it for them if they've lost weight. I don't believe that it's this product alone. I believe there is a placebo component behind it, and potentially the caffeine is helpful. But I also believe that there are other behaviors involved in that weight loss. And then another layer to that is the fact that they also are probably changing their pose. They're probably changing the way the photo looks or the type of clothes they're wearing. And I see it all the time, to say like, this is accentuating what the weight loss looks like. So that's the things 1, 2, and 3. There's really a big fat nothing burger amount of vitamin C, and there's a really big fat nothing burger of dietary fiber in here. So that's that on that. And then in addition to that, I'm going to come out of here. If you can see where I'm on now, it's the price. $104 is a monthly supply, because here it tells me that you can actually subscribe and save 10%. Let's just put this into perspective here. Supplements don't cost nothing. Supplements cost money. And you could say, Laura, well, I was on $100 of supplements a month. I was on $150 of supplements a month. Totally. But that's not a forever solution, right? So what are you doing? Again, if this is a long-term intervention, like, what are you doing other than spending $104 or $93 a month on this that may or may not work? And it's certainly not getting to the root cause of what's going on. Let's take berberine, for example. You can get berberine. I priced this out right before I hopped on here. You can get berberine for $40 a bottle. And typically I'm dosing, please do not go take this berberine unless you've been recommended to. There's a lot of side effects we need to watch for, etc. But I'm just giving an example. If you have insulin resistance, that's the reason why you can't lose weight. One of the things that we would do on top of diet and lifestyle interventions would probably utilize something like berberine. Berberine, you can get a bottle that will last you about 40 days for about $40-ish, right? If we're dosing the max dose. The caveat to that is we are not on this forever. I usually am doing this for 3 to 6 months, seeing change. The ideal situation is that you would actually have results at that 6 months, and we'd actually be able to wean you off, and you just go through with the lifestyle and dietary things. Now, life happens, and you're on it for longer. You're working towards all of these things, moving every day, changing your diet, exercising, etc. And so all of those pieces come into play for sure, but let's just ballpark it. If you were taking something like berberine for a year, you would spend about $350. And if you were taking this supplement for a year, you're like $1,100. Okay. And we don't even know if it's looking at all of the root causes. Again, if we're looking at thyroid, does this fix your thyroid? Absolutely not. Does it fix your cortisol? Absolutely not. Neither does Happy Juice. Does it fix your insulin? Absolutely not. If you want to take advantage of the research of caffeine and the weight loss benefits that caffeine can have, then you would just have a coffee every single day. The caffeine that is in about one coffee a day is totally sufficient to see the benefits that we see with caffeine on fatty liver research. We see the research on diabetes. We see the research on fat distribution and weight. And so my take home point is be very skeptical. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. There is a little bit of a placebo component, and I don't hate a placebo. There is actually research on there's actually a whole area of research dedicated to the placebo effect, if you can believe it. And essentially it's saying, how do we improve health with the placebo effect, because it's such a like a low risk intervention. Anyways, there's lots of things to be said about the placebo effect, and I think it's actually quite incredible. However, I don't think we pay $100 a month to get the placebo effect, especially when you haven't been assessed by someone who can actually look at your blood work and, actually determine what's going on with you and what are your hurdles to moving forward. I find, a lot of the time there is a hormonal component, there's probably an insulin component, but there's also a diet and lifestyle component. And sometimes that diet and lifestyle component comes because of the hormonal component. Let me just paint a picture. You are in perimenopause, you have hot flashes, you do not sleep. Because you do not sleep, you wake up and you make poor choices for breakfast because you're just craving a bagel. You're just craving a bagel with cream cheese and a latte. You just want comfort food because you're exhausted. Or, you for dinner, you're like, let's just do pizza. I'm way too tired to cook, right? It's not that you're craving, but you're just too tired to cook. So that doesn't contribute to healthy lifestyle and diet behavior, right? That's going to contribute to weight gain or, insufficient weight loss, right? But the root cause of that is you're not sleeping. The root cause of not sleeping is you have hot flashes. So let's fix your hot flashes. And then we can get you sleeping. And then we can get you making better choices, right? It is a ripple effect. If, when we give someone energy, we give them the motivation to cook. I had a patient that I spoke to the other day. And when we first started working together, she's like, I have a crap diet. And you know what? I'm not willing to change my crap diet right now because I feel like crap. So she can't reach her goals with weight loss because she's admitted, she's like, I know my diet's crap, but Laura, I don't have the energy. I don't sleep. I'm in pain all day. And that's why I'm making those choices. I can't exercise. So, because I'm in pain all day, right? And so when we look at it from that perspective, we can really step back and say, okay, what's the first thing that has to go here? And it's not giving you a weight loss supplement. It's not. It's saying, first, we fix the sleep. By fixing the sleep, we're going to give you energy. We're also going to deal with the pain a little bit, believe it or not. Then we do some blood work and we see what's going on. So we can figure out the root cause of the pain. Maybe there's a chronic vitamin D deficiency. Maybe there's inflammatory markers that are high, right? All of those things. But these things are slow. These things are not sexy, right? This is why people, drop off because they're like, it's too much work. But at the end of the day, this is the reality. The Trim Fit supplement that everybody's, peddling online is not going to change your life. And if, at best, it's going to give you caffeine. The research doesn't support even the dose. Like even if I'm behind purple tea or whatever it's called, purple whatever. Yeah, purple tea. Even if I'm behind it, the one study I read was funded by the people who made the extract, and the other study, the dose doesn't even touch what is in this product. So, anyways, that is my rant today. I've been on here lots, but I had lots to share. So, hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Friday, and feel free to drop in and ask me questions.